Hello everyone, it's your boy, Calculon, and we're back in Tinkercad. Here we're going to be prepping our 3D pixel art in order to 3D print our pixel art and assemble it with different colors of filament. That means we're going to be making it into different STL files. Let's get into it. Here I am in Tinkercad, and I have a Calvin that I would love to 3D print. The issue is right now, Calvin is made of blocks. He's also made of 3 colors, and if I print him as he is, 1, he'll be very pixelated, and 2, he's going to come out in 1 color. I would like to do less painting than I did on Yoda, so I'm going to probably break him into a tan color group, a yellow color group, a red color group, a black color group, and a white color group. To demonstrate what that's going to look like, here's Solid Snake. So this is my 3D model of Solid Snake in pixel art. You'll notice that the bottom part of Solid Snake is blue, black, and gray. But I'm not going to print like 30 different pieces on my printer and attach them all. That's doing the most. Might as well be building it with Legos at that point. Also, his face has a little bit of tan on it, but on the whole, it's mostly hair. So that's probably going to be brown that I'm going to paint tan and black on. Now, what I did with Solid Snake was break him into brown, and blue. And you can see the final product here. Of course, I put this into 2 STL files, one with just the brown, one with just the blue. And then once I had done that, I hit the export button, which is in the upper right-hand corner of Tinkercad, and saved it as an STL file to 3D print both my brown and then my blue. So let's go ahead and do that with Calvin. All right, before we break too many things, what I want you to do is go ahead and if you have a finished version that you're happy with, duplicate that. That way, in case you screw it up, you'll still have a backup copy to come back to. The first thing I want to do is kind of identify where the yellow is. I'm going to move the yellow up, and then I'm going to be grouping it. So obviously, this top part of the yellow, his hairline, all of the yellow from here up is going to be part of that. Hold Shift, click all of this to the right, grab this part of the hair, holding Shift. I know what I can do. All right, so let's go under the hairline. I'm just going to deselect his arm after I select these pixels. So let's go under the hairline. And then I've obviously got some of his arm in that group. So let's just go over here and deselect the arm. Let's deselect this area. And this 1 pixel, it looks like, is still kind of hanging on. All right, so I seem to have gotten most of it. There's a little bit of part of the back of his head that I haven't gotten. So let's try to get this lot here. And then I'm just going to grab these 3 pixels I can see. I might miss some pixels here, and that's okay. I'll just be moving them up afterwards. This pixel I'm intentionally not going to grab because it's below his ear, and that'll have to be painted onto the tan, since I'm not going to stick 1 pixel into the side of his head. That's doing the most. All right, so now that I've got everything selected that I think constitutes the yellow on the top of his head, I'm going to go up to the center of this and pull up a nice even number of units that I can remember. So let's move it all up for 40 units. All right, now I've obviously grabbed some of his head that I did not want, and I missed a little bit of yellow here. So let's get this yellow first. And I would like this all to be at a right angle, so I'm actually going to make all of this yellow that I missed. So select that. Let's make it yellow. And we're going to move that up 40 units. So it's with its free ends. Let's see what else I've missed. Certainly this little bit. And these. Now it looks like I took some pixels here I didn't want. So let's make all that yellow. Yep. I don't want these anymore. I just want these. Let's move those up 40 units. Okay. And then, did I grab part of his? Oh, I did, but I actually want this yellow. That's okay. So now it looks like I've got most of the yellow that I want off. I'm just going to change this to tan. I'll eventually be changing all of his tan, head to tan, but this is just kind of looking at me all creepy like. So let's get rid of that. All right, and then all of this is obviously going to be yellow. Okay, so I've got his hair. Now that I've got all of his hair together, and let's just make sure there's no stray pixels that don't have any attachment points. Looks good. So we could move this down 40 points. I'm just going to select it all and move it down 40 points, make sure that all goes back into place and that it makes sense. Let's grab this, move it down 40. Okay, so if I were to move it down 40, it would be back on top of his head. Looks good, looks normal. Okay, so I'm going to undo that move since I would like it back up. And I would like to merge these. Now this may take some time as the computer and the browser and probably on their servers renders this, and then it tells your browser what happened. But we're going to group all of this together so it makes one object like this. Because if I print this as it is right now, it's going to print these lines of resolution between it. Yes, that makes it look a little bit more pixelated, but I think it looks a lot cleaner as I've printed them and then painting the lines on them rather than have, for example, these pixels on his face. Also going to save some filament. So I've clicked the merge. It's just thinking. And it's probably going to tell me that the site has stopped responding. It hasn't. It's thinking. Just doing the big brain stuff. Give it time. Okay. I know.
One eternity later.
There we go. Okay, 9. 9 waits later. We now have one block that is just his hair. Okay, so we will make our pegs, our Lego bits to attach the hair to the head later. I'm just going to move this up another, I guess I need to click the one object. This is one object now. Move this up another 40 units so we can make way for his head. Okay. So now I need to decapitate Calvin. So let's grab all the pixels I can kind of see here. It looks like I missed some on his neck and some on his ear. And let's try that. Up 40. And obviously I missed a few. I can't even see my 40. So actually face. Let's move up enough so that I can see that I moved 40. You do want to keep track of how much you've moved things. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult to relocate the pixels you missed back onto the rest of it. Then we got a good amount of it. We did grab a piece of his shirt that we don't want. So we're going to move that back down 40. That's why keeping track is important. And then we're going to grab these that go with his head and move them up 40. All right. And his head is a little bit smaller. We're going to lose that beautiful smile when we merge this. It's all going to become tan. So let's go ahead and just change it to tan now so it doesn't all become black. I can merge this and I will be painting that face on once it's printed. Group. See how long this takes.
A few moments later.
All right, that only took 2 waits. There are fewer pixels in his face, so that took less time to render. All right, and I'm going to now move, let's go ahead and do the arms because those are going to be easy. And that'll be within the same printing bed as the head since they're all going to be that tan material. So let's move this up 40 pixels. And merge it. Those should merge real easy. Group them. Those should group really quickly. Wow. There you go. Pretty quickly. All right. And then the other arm. Make sure I just grab the arm. I was going to grab some of that shirt. All right. And then up 40 units. I missed a bit. Just one. I'll make sure that's not hanging. Nope. Okay, it's attached. All right, I think I got it all. I might have missed this. Yep, I did. Let's try it. Group them. I just didn't want it to group with this. All right, and I believe, yep, we have just one object now. So if we move this, it should just all move together. Yep, so let's leave that where it is. Next is the red. So the red is nearly, well, this is pretty easy. All right, let's grab the red, this big area, and then just these little bits. I don't have a whole lot of room here, so let me move this up. So all of these, I'm going to move up another 40 units. Now I'm going to grab that red. Okay, so straight away here, hold shift, grab those, up 40 units. And it looks like I grabbed a little bit of the black. I didn't mean to. So let's come around the other side and just grab that black, back down 40 units. Okay, no stealing butts. All right, then let's merge the shirt. Group that.
2,000 years later.
All right, so the shirt only took 4. I'm going to need a little bit more space for my pants. So I'm going to grab everything we've got so far. And you guessed it, I'm going to move it up 40 units again. Just keep everything 40 units from each other. All right, now I'm going to grab the black. Socks, these purple bits, are going to be easier to paint on the white than the black, so I'm not going to grab the purple. Up 40 units. And doesn't look like I got any purple or any white there. Perfect. So let's go ahead and group those.
A few inches later.
Okay, and then I'm just going to change all of this to white, and then I can paint the socks purple. I'm going to merge each of these individually rather than both of them together. So I can still rotate them if I need to on the printing bed.
Nice.
The arch.
Nice.
Okay, so part 1 is done. We have now merged and separated all of our different colors we're going to be printing in, but we need to figure out ways for this to attach. So the easiest way is to have a peg or 2 go up from one piece into holes in the other piece. So it's going to be using cylinders with solids and holes to merge into the top and bottoms of each piece. Now, this foot, obviously that's not going to work with. If we look at how this attaches, this attaches here, so it's going to have to be a horizontal piece for this foot, though this one can still be vertical. So I guess I'll just start at the bottom. I'm going to start right here on this black piece with the cylinder, and I'm just probably going to duplicate it for each of the new instances today. Actually, face. All right, let's use a box. We're going to make this 5 by 5 by 5. So first we're going to shrink our box. Let's get it somewhere I can work with it. Shrink our box to 5 units. This goes up 20. Circles. Then I'm going to move this onto my piece. Should be relatively centered there. So this is 5 units by 5 units. I need the hole to be just slightly bigger, so I'm going to make the holes for these 5.5 units or maybe 6 units, so it has 0.5 units of space around each side. So it'll jiggle a little bit, but that'll also account for any kind of contraction, expansion, and non-perfect printing so that it doesn't just abut and not fit together. That would be bad. Okay, so this, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to bring it up. It's going to go into, oh, I see. That is not where that attaches. I probably should start with a smaller piece, so I will. So let's bring this up, 55 units. Let's move it to the center of this piece. So we're going to be kind of looking up at Calvin's pants. There we go. So it's kind of in the center of his pants there. And now I'm going to duplicate that and bring it down because I need it to be exactly above where it's going to be attaching to the other piece. Let's bring the second copy down 30 units, 35 units. Okay. So we now have the first peg, and this needs to be a hole. So this is going to go up 5 units and be a hole. So let's get up in this hole. PC. This isn't very well centered, but we just need 1 more unit this way, 1 more unit this way. So I'm going to move this up. I want to make sure this is centered in here. I think I need to move this 0.5 units in both directions. I do. Otherwise, this will be slightly off. It'll be off by half a unit. It'll drive me friggin' bonkers. So I need to move this. Movie? I want to move half a unit. Oh, snap grid. 0.5 units. There we go. So now if I press just the left and right, there we go. Okay. So now they're centered on each other. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So this will be centered on the hole. Fixed it. Yeah. So now I want to snap back to 1 unit. I was only working 1 unit increments, which is why I couldn't move it 0.5 units. Get that back down there. All right, so 30, it'll be on that. Okay, so now we have hole and peg. Let's duplicate them and move them up. Okay, and then hole and peg here. Perfect. Let's duplicate that, and I'm just going to move it. Oh, it's going to move it up here. Okay, well, we're gonna end up using 2 points for each of these. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my set here and grab this, and because these are larger, I'm going to duplicate this and just move this to the left. So this will have 2 attachment points. Move this one a little to the right. There we go. Now I'm going to, since I don't think I'm going to need these anymore, let's go ahead and merge these. So those will turn into holes in the bottom. Let's make these black and merge. I'm going to actually leave this bottom one alone for now because I'm going to duplicate it and throw it over here after I rotate it. So let's merge these, make those black. Okay, so I've got those will fit directly in there. Okay, up here I was going to, before I merge these, select, duplicate. I think I probably want 2 on the neck as well. So let's move this over here. Let's move the original, move those a little to the left. There we go. Okay, so the head's got 2 points to lock in. Now I want 1 set of these, duplicate, and I'm going to rotate that because we're going to have to attach the arms to the side of this red. So let's duplicate this. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. And we're going to work with that in a second here. So these actually go onto the side of the arm here. So let's do math hard. If I move this 40 down, good. That's how they attach, like that. So then let's move it 40 this way. I can't see my units. Let's move it 40 this way. Okay, now these should work. Nope, I want both of them. Put this in the middle of that. Flush with that, flush with that. Looks good. So now we're going to merge the hand and the hole. Let's group those. Let's group the shirt and the peg. Wait a second. Before I group those, actually, Phase, I need to make a symmetrical version on the other side. So now that I've kind of set these up, all right, let's, because the other ones should be close to the other side. So let's duplicate that, spin those around 180 degrees, and let's move them over to the left side because I'm going to need to attach another arm. Let's see how those attach. So let's move this down 40 units over, over 40 units. Still can't see my measurements. There we go. 40 units. Select my hole and my peg, and let's make sure these work out all right. That's actually pretty close to centered already. We need these to move back in space though. There we go, get flush. A little bit to the right. And then a little bit up. No, that's pretty good. All right, and then is this attached to this? Yeah, perfect. So now we can merge hole and hand. Oh, I keep saying merge. All right, so that's it's going to be a little bit of an issue. Let me actually shorten both of these so we don't end up seeing red through there. Otherwise, I would have to paint this peg a little bit. So let's, before we merge those, I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. So let's move this that way. So that way I don't end up cutting all of that. Is this flush with that side? I'm just going to... Okay, yeah, I want that in just a tiny bit. Okay, so merge these, group these. Group, not merge. Group these. Okay. Come over to this side. Group these. Group these. Now we can merge the head. Oh, before we do that, we probably could just literally duplicate all 4 of these and have the same plan happen and duplicate with the hair before I deal with the head, because I obviously need to attach his hair to his head, and they should be in a relatively close location. Yeah, so let's move that up when I can see it, 40 units, or however many units this was. I guess 80, it was 80 units, 80 units. Okay. I'm going to move these closer to the center of the head. That's looking kind of weird right there. All right, and that should attach too close to the center of the hair. Looks good. Okay, so these just need to be tan. Group these. Now we can group these. Oh, same issue. So if I cut like that, I'm going to end up cutting off into the back of his head. That'll be a big issue. So let's actually select these and these. And we're just going to go down 1 unit. There we go. That way when we merge this, we are not going to be able to see through his head into the back of his, through his neck into the back of his head. That'd be quite bad. Nope, still can. I didn't do it good. Oh, right, because those are 6 units. So we need to go 1 further. So grab the holes, grab the pegs, and just down 1, down half a unit. Let's go down half a unit. Negative 1.5. There we go. There's not going to be a lot of thickness there, but I don't want to go make these so short that the head could fall off. Let's group those. Now we should be good on the not seeing through to the neck. Okay, perfect. And then group these. All right, so we don't have that problem with the hair because the hair is thick. Okay, good, good. Thick and luscious, jealous. Talk to me in 5 years. Be lucky if it's still around. Okay, and then group head with pegs. I already did that. I think. Yeah, already did that. All right, so I just need to do the 1 foot, I think, this foot. Yeah, and I had left these here unmerged or ungrouped because I needed them. Duplicate, rotate 90 degrees this way. And let's look at what happens with the body. So let's move this item 40 units this way. Let's grab these. Whoop. Do the same. 40 units this way. All right, I'm snapping to grid. Yeah. And then let's, it looks like we're gonna have to move this a little bit more. This is gonna be a wiggly room. I'm just gonna make sure that's snapped onto the other. So let's, come here you. We just need to make sure these are in alignment. So just holding shift to make sure those move right. That should be close. Move this down 40 units. So it's sitting on the bottom piece. And, oop, I didn't merge these 2 yet. Group these. I didn't group these yet. Okay. Did I group the top? I did group the top. Okay. So let's move this down, and it should sit directly on that red peg.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay. And now let's figure out how these will attach. Okay, so grab this, move them together. They certainly need to go down a bit. This one is going to have to go to the left a bit. And then both of them need to come towards me. That looks like perfectly centered. Let's just make sure these are adjacent. Are these touching? Yes, perfect. So that way, go ahead and merge these two. Group these two. I want to group them. Okay. Sorry, it's too much Photoshop. Now, if I move this, it should go directly on that peg.
Nice.
Looks good. Looks good. So now let's move this and this back up so we can finish merging the other things. 20 and then 20 more. Okay. Let's merge these two. Make you black. Merge you with this. Group you with this. Okay, got the whole. And then finally, group these. All right, so putting everything together, everything is fine as it is. They're very far apart. Before I finish this, I'm probably going, well, I'm going to duplicate this as this has been broken into its pieces and grouped together. What I'm going to be doing is breaking this into a tan, a yellow, a red, a black, and a white build plate. But I can do that as long as you separate your things and have your pegs in place, ready for attachment, we will be Gucci. So let's go ahead and put them all together and make sure he look good.
Nice. 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 Nice.
My concern with these is, I don't know, these might need to be glued in place. But that's a problem for future Mr. B, because I don't know that even though a rectangle obviously will hold things above it, the center of gravity doesn't quite work there, there's some friction in place, these probably will have to get glued on. But let me separate everything again now that I know it works, or just go back in time. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. He is ready to be broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 print beds for 5 different colors of filament, printed, assembled, and then painted. Hopefully this has been helpful. It's going to be a little bit different based on what model you're working with, how many objects you are going to be grouping, not merging, and obviously the speed of your internet connection and how well Tinkercad decides to do that day. But this should get you started, at least in the right direction, and kind of give you an idea of how I organize my 3D art for printing in multiple filament colors. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.